Hello, people. It's that time again. Yes, sir. All right. Hey. It's week 5, people. It's week 5 in fantasy football. And it's time for the master plan. I am JT, aka the master. And like I said, JT, which is Jerry Taylor, presents the master plan. Hey, we got a great show in store for you today. Let me tell you something, people. I want to do this. I have to do this first and foremost. I know the game's been played, and people are going to say, "Well, that you're saying that afterthought." No, I'm not, because it was a bad game. Let me put it this way. And most procrastinators, because Jonathan Taylor was out, said for you to take or pick up Nyheim Hines or Philip Lindsay. Well, the problem I have with that is 190 or 190 plus pounds. That's Nyheim Hines at 5'8", 5'9", and Philip Lindsay. They don't even go to 200. They're 190 pounds, and they're 5'8", and 5'9". They're not every down backs. They're not the type of back Indianapolis needed in that game. The guy you needed to pick up, which I picked up in 2 of my leagues, is Deion Jackson. 6 foot, 200 plus pounds. And he gave you double digits. So if you have a high spot on your waiver wire, the first thing you should do, if Jonathan Taylor plays or if he doesn't play, is pick up Deion Jackson, the running back from the Indianapolis Colts. Without a doubt. Because if Jonathan Taylor ever gets hurt, and it's knock on wood, that he doesn't get hurt, Deion Jackson is going to be the main guy. It's going to be the guy. He's able to catch the football out of the backfield and be able to run the ball in between the tackles or outside. He can run. He's a player. He's a very good player. And one of the things, I'm going to give you a little tidbit. I don't share this too much with everybody, but I'm going to give you a little tidbit. And this is an example of what I'm talking about, being ahead of the curve, okay? Being ahead of what the overall consensus people are talking about. And this is high risk, high reward. Let me put it that way. You got to be able to take chances, and you got to think logically of what's going on with the team and what type of players are going to be replaced, such as Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is a six foot plus guy and 200 plus guy. Okay, you can't replace Jonathan Taylor with a scat back, as in Philip Lindsay or Nyheim Hines. You can't do it. If anybody knows about running backs, you can't. They're not plug and play. They're not the type of back. You can't put a square hole and a round peg in a square hole. You can't do it. And that's exactly Nyheim Hines and Philip Lindsay replacing Jonathan Taylor. So what you do is this, and what I always do this when a star running back gets hurt, and he has scat backs that are change of pace backs that come behind him, they're not going to replace him. They can't replace him. You got to go deep into the roster and see if there's a capable back that fits the mold of the starting back. And that was Deion Jackson. So I looked into the roster of the Indianapolis Colts. I looked past Nyheim Hines. I looked past Philip Lindsay, and I saw, let me see who they have on a roster that fits Jonathan Taylor's mold. Bingo! Deion Jackson. Now I picked them up in two of my Yahoo leagues, and didn't put him on my lineup. I should have, but I didn't put him on lineup. But I put him on the bench. That's the twofold. This is a twofold strategy. Even though I put him on the bench, he's on my roster, and the fact it prevents anybody else in your fantasy league from picking him up, and you don't have to compete with anybody on your roster, on your waiver wire. And if he pans out, well, then you know that if Jonathan Taylor doesn't play this week, doesn't play in week 6, you got Deion Jackson. And you can plug it in because you know that he's going to be able to perform. Because let me tell you something, he looked good. If one thing I do know, I do know running backs, and he looked very good. Catching the ball very comfortable catching the ball out of the backfield. First time he caught the ball, 21-yard reception. He looked very good. So just a tidbit on being able to pick up a replacement if your star running back is not in the game. Look for a guy that fits the mold of that running back. Don't look for scat backs that are like Nyheim Hines and Philip Lindsay, 5'9", 5'8", 190 plus pounds. That's not what the offense is looking for when they run a back like Jonathan Taylor out there. I'm just saying. It may not pan out, but it's worth it's worth it. Let me put it that way. No risk it, no biscuit. That is my philosophy. All right, people. We're talking about week 5. Week 5? Oh yeah, week 5. I'm loving it. And the first game on the docket, we have one going on now. I'm not even going to talk about it. Because it's going on right now. So let's go into the 1 o'clock games, to the 4 o'clock games, to the 8 o'clock game, and to Monday Night Football. Let's do that. The first game on that docket at oh my God, is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Green Bay Packers. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Buffalo Bills. Now, we talked yesterday on the FSP show that this shouldn't be a game. The game should probably be over, and this is probably one of my lock games. This game should probably be over by halftime, because there you got a rookie quarterback going against one of the best defenses in the NFL on the road. He's got a few things that are negative that is going to benefit the Buffalo Bills, not the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, let's talk about this, okay? You don't play Kenny Pickett, not in this situation. He's at a total disadvantage on the road and have to go against one of the better defenses. And he'll be meeting Von Miller early and often. Let me put it that way. He'll be meeting Von Miller early and often. Okay. So let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers first, and then I'll go to the home team. The Pittsburgh Steelers. You got to play Najee Harris. He was some people a first round pick, and it's going to be tough sledding. It's going to be a tough road to hoe, a tough way to go for Najee Harris in this. Because the fact is, like I said, it's a very good defense. And the offensive line of Pittsburgh is not that good. Not one of the top offensive lines. Not at all. So, but you got to play Najee Harris with the hope that with the young quarterback, if you know they're going to run the football, he's going to get a lot of touches. And hopefully, if he is not able to run the football effectively, he can catch multiple passes out of the backfield with dump-offs. Because the pass rush is going to come to Kenny Pickett. So he may be one of the guys that you get the ball out quick and throw it to Najee Harris, and hopefully he can do something. The other person I like in here is Pat Freiermuth. Okay, I've always said this. You always heard me say it. I say that ad nauseum. The best friend of a young quarterback is the tight end. Get the ball out quick, easy throw in the middle of the field, and it's not a long throw, not a high risk throw. So you got to throw to the tight end. I love Pat Freiermuth in here. Also, I said the pecking order, in my opinion, and I'm not an expert, but in my opinion, would be Pat Freiermuth, George Pickens, and then Dante Johnson. I know Dante Johnson is supposed to be the pseudo number one wide receiver on the Pittsburgh Steelers, but rookie to rookie is probably going to be a popular thing. Let me put it that way, because they're used to playing with each other, and they probably feel very comfortable and gotten a rapport with each other. And when Kenny Pickett got into the game, he was targeting George Pickens. And I'm still saying that Pat Freiermuth is going to be very useful player for Kenny Pickett. Let's go on the other side and the Buffalo Bills. Oh, come on, man. Come on, really? Don't you think that this MVP candidate, who won a very big game last week against Lamar Jackson, who is another MVP candidate, is not going to ball out against the Pittsburgh Steelers, whose defense ain't all that, especially without T.J. Watt, who's out. He's not coming back anytime soon. So play Josh Allen. He plays Stephon Diggs, the other half of that passing duo. And you play Devin Singletary because he does a dual threat, a triple threat quarterback. I mean, triple threat running back. He's able to run the ball out of the backfield when they give it to him, when Josh Allen is running. And he's also able to catch the football out of the backfield. He's become a useful tool in catching the football out of the backfield. Those are the players on both sides of the ball. Pittsburgh Steelers, the Buffalo Bills is what I recommend you playing. Let's move to the next team and next games. My Cleveland Browns. You see, I have my new Cleveland Brown shirt here. You can see it at. I have my new Cleveland Brown shirt with the new logo. That's on the 50-yard line. Just got that. Nice present. Appreciate it. And hosting the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, how healthy is Justin Herbert? He had a decent game last week. Is he going to be able to ball out against my team? I'm hoping for the win. Let me put it that way. But we're not talking about wins and losses here. We're talking about fantasy football. And with that being said, you play Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is a baller. I've talked about Justin Herbert ad nauseum last year and this year. Love Justin Herbert. Austin Eckler. You got to play Austin Eckler. You got to play Austin Eckler. And because he's a beast in the passing game. He's not much of a running back, running the football. His money shot, let me put it that way, is catching the football out of the backfield. That's what he does best. You got to play Mike Williams. I know. Mike Williams is like hot and cold. Hot and cold. I know. I have Mike Williams, I think, on at least one of my teams. And I know you run the risk of getting a big fat 0 or something in single digits. But you also have the fact that you can get a monster game out of Mike Williams at the drop of a hat any single moment. You got to play Mike Williams. And especially when Keenan Allen is not going to be playing. Absolutely. And the other one that you have to play, without a doubt, there's no two ways about it. If you're looking for a tight end, this guy should not be on the waiver wire. He should be on your roster. Is Gerald Everett, number 7 for the Los Angeles Chargers? Gerald Everett, tight end. He's treated like a wide receiver too in this. I can't really trust any other wide receiver. I would tell you Josh Palmer, but that's even more of a play, not desperation play, but more of a inconsistent play than Mike Williams. You know, I mean, he can get you a big play, but you never know when that's going to come, if it's ever going to come. On the other side of the ball, you got to play David Njoku. Jacoby Brissett is Mr. Checkdown. And David Njoku got his money this year, and they're using him like they should have been using him all along. That's why they paid him money, because they knew what he was worth. They knew his ability, and now it's coming out this year. You got to play David Njoku, another tight end. You got to play Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, if I'm not mistaken, is leading the league in rushing. That's right, Nick Chubb. You got to play Nick Chubb. And sprinkle a little Kareem Hunt and Amari Cooper in the flex position. Now, Amari Cooper, first week of the season, threw in a stinker. I think he only had 3 or 4 points the first game in fantasy. The next 2 games, he balled out. It was 20-plus points week 3 and week 4. I mean, week 2 and week 3. And then he throws in another stinker. 1 catch for 19 yards or whatever it was. 1 catch for 9 yards, whatever it was. Not even 2 points. That's why I'm telling you to put him in the flex. That's the safest spot for Amari Cooper, in the flex. I would not bench Amari Cooper. I would put him in the flex, because at least he's going to get targeted. He is the number one wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns. And the fact is that I don't think he's going to get shut out. I think he's going to get close to double digits. And I know that's saying bad for a number 1 wide receiver, close to double digits. But he's the number 1 wide receiver on the team. And you got to give him some type of respect. I mean, this is not a totally inept passing game. They are going to get the ball to their pass catchers. Is going to be enough for fantasy relevance? That's why you put him in a flex. Okay? You don't rely on 1 or 2 wide receiver position. You put him in a flex. All right, let's move on to the Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars played pretty well. They've been playing pretty well. Let me put it that way. And the fact is this. They're favored in this game. I'm not worried about being favored. I'm worried about fantasy points. I would play Trevor Lawrence in this game. Oh, let me go to the visiting team first. Don't play Davis Mills. I like Davis Mills as a quarterback, but I know it's saying, well, if you tell them to play the wide receiver, why not the quarterback? Well, the quarterback throws it to the wide receiver. I understand that. But I don't think the quarterback's going to rack up irrelevant fantasy points. So I would not play Davis Mills. But I would play Dameon Pierce, their running back, because they're going to want to run the football and try to keep it away from the Jacksonville Jaguars. When they do pass it, they're going to pass it to Brandon Cooks. He's the number 1 wide receiver. He's going to get targeted the most. And he's been consistent. Let me put it that way. He's been consistent. And those are the only two players I can tell you to play for the Houston Texans. Damian Pierce, the running back, and Brandon Cooks. Now I know Jacksonville's going to try to key up on Brandon Cooks to keep him from going off. But Brandon Cooks is a wily veteran and knows how to get open and is consistent 1,000-yard receiver each year. So that's how I'm telling you to play Brandon Cooks. And to that, I'll say to play on the Jacksonville side, you play Trevor Lawrence. This is not a good defense on the Texans, and Trevor Lawrence has been a breath of fresh air, and Doug Peterson, I should say, has been a breath of fresh air for that team. And being a former quarterback, the head coach knows how to coach a young quarterback to get the best out of him. Hence Carson Wentz, hence Nick Foles. Now, Doug Peterson had a number one pick of a few years ago to groom. And he can do it because the guy has a lot of ability. I mean, Trevor Lawrence. And is a coachable quarterback. As you can see in the past games, even though he really had a bad game this past game with so many turnovers. But you got to understand that this is a quarterback that has weapons, has viable weapons. And James Robinson, I'm telling you to play him. Even though I'm not a big James Robinson fan, he keeps coming through week in and week out. But you know what? This is what I'm telling you to do. I'm telling you to sell high on James Robinson. If you can trade James Robinson for viable pieces that people are going to want to pick him up, I would do so. Because just like I told you last week about a player, and we'll get to that game when I'll tell you, he can't sustain what he's been doing. And I still truly believe history of running backs with Achilles injuries don't do well or don't do well. Let me put it that way. I've showed you the medical history of running back with Achilles, and I'm going to stick to it. Now, if he lasts the whole season and balls out, he's the exception to the rule. I'll tell you that right now. He'll be the exception to the rule. But for the overall history of running backs with Achilles injuries, it's not a pretty picture. So play James Robinson and see if you can get the best out of him. But then I would sell high on him. Christian Kirk, they didn't pay him a whole lot of money for nothing. You play Christian Kirk in this game. He's going to be a valuable tool and a valuable player on your roster this week. Those are the only three I should say. There could only three I can tell you to play from Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me get to the next game. Another 1:00 game, a division game. The NFC North Division A is the Minnesota Vikings hosting the Chicago Bears. Chicago cannot score. You know why they can't score? Well, one of the reasons they can't score is because of the inept passing game. Inept passing game. Come on. Justin Fields, they don't let him pass the ball. What they use Justin Fields for as a quarterback of the Chicago Bears? Handing the ball off. And David Montgomery, if he plays, how effective is he going to be? Against the Minnesota Vikings, is it David Montgomery or is it going to be Khalil Herbert running the football? Okay? This may happen early in this game. early in this game. But because they don't pass the ball that much, because they're a run-dominated team, they uh uh they're a they're a run-dominated team, and they don't score a lot of points. Just chew up the clock. They don't score a lot of points. So, and the Minnesota Vikings are high passing, a high percentage of passing. Now, I'm gonna say the only I have a hard time, and this is why I'm stuttering and backing because I don't know who to play in this. I got to throw my hands up and realize that do I say play Khalil Herbert or David Montgomery? I can't in good conscience tell you to play anybody on the Chicago Bears. They're that bad. They're that bad. So if you have an inclination to play one of those running backs, and I only recommend playing one of those running backs, either Khalil Herbert or David Montgomery. If David Montgomery plays, play him at your own peril. At best, they're a flex. Play him at your own peril. Okay. On the other side of the ball, the Minnesota Vikings. They're playing home. They're not in a prime time game. They're a 1:00 game, just like a lot of other teams on Sunday. Play Kirk Cousins. I love Kirk Cousins in this situation. Play Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. Absolutely. Those four players, in my opinion, are going to get you double-digit fantasy points. And that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for single digits. You're looking for some form of double digits. And they can get it for you. From 10 to 20-something points. Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson. This is their type of games. I expect Dalvin Cook to run all over the Chicago defense in Minnesota, in their home stadium. All right? That's how I have this game. Let's move on to the next game and see if we can figure this one out. The Detroit Lions at the New England Patriots, who are playing with their third string running quarterback, Bailey Zappi, or whatever his name is. I'll go with the home team first, and then I'll talk about the road team. Don't play Bailey Zapp. I know Detroit's defense is god awful, but this is a run-dominated team. And they're going to try to protect the quarterback by not letting him pass the ball too much. Even though Detroit is quarterback friendly, I don't think they're going to try to let him, a third-string quarterback, try to beat Detroit. They're going to run the football with Ramondre Stevenson. Wow. Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris. Got one of those, you put him in there because Detroit is horrible against the run. You know what? I'm telling you to play Devontae Parker because I think because of their defense, I think they can take advantage of, and Devontae Parker can take advantage and get valuable fantasy points. I can't recommend Nelson Aguilar, Jacoby Myers. I think he's out, or Hunter Henry. He's very touchdown dependent. I told you that several times. Very touchdown dependent. I don't think there are too many touchdowns going in this game. To tell you the truth. Not for Hunter Henry. That's for sure. All right, let's go on the other side. You know what? I'm playing Jared Goff. Yep, I'm playing Jared Goff. This is one of the highest scoring offenses going. I know it's in New England. I know New England played their better defense under Bill Belichick at home and can shut this defense down. But I'm telling you to play Jared Goff, Jamal Williams, who's taking the spot for um, taking the spot for DeAndre Swift. Sorry about that, people. Play T.J. Hawkinson. I don't think Amara St. Brown is playing. Josh Reynolds is probably a little banged up, questionable. I think that the only healthy pass catcher is Josh Reynolds. I mean, excuse me, T.J. Hawkinson. Another monster game from T.J. Hawkinson. All right. Let's move on to the next game, which happens to be another 1:00 game. The Seattle Seahawks and the New Orleans Saints. If you listened to me last week, I think I had told you to play Geno. I love Geno. Geno. Balled out last week. Balled out last week. He got lambasted by one of my league members because I picked up Geno Smith. That's the last. I got one comment saying he picked up Geno Smith, whatever it was. Didn't hear anything else about that after Geno Smith went off. Do I tell you to play Geno Smith this week? No. They're on the road. They're in New Orleans, and they have New Orleans has a very good pass defense. Geno Smith, I don't think he's going to have the type of day he had last week. Now, Geno Smith is a spot starter, depending on what kind of defense you're going against and whether you're on the road or at home. Ideal at home against a shaky defense is where you want to put Geno Smith. Just keep that in the back of your mind if you're looking for a quarterback. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Okay. Play Tyler Lockett and play DK Metcalf. I think the running game is going to be split, and the fact is that the running game is going to be tough. It's tough because New Orleans is very tough against the run. Very tough against the run. And I don't think between Rashad Penny and Kenny Walker, third, they're going to be able to do anything that's going to be relevant in fantasy football. How about we go to, you know what? I don't know if I want to bring this person in because laying on the couch is not a professional thing. Laying on the couch is not a professional thing. And that's how much let me put it this way, people. And this irritates me, and I haven't said anything before. But the fact is, when I'm on somebody's show, I'm sitting upright and paying attention, not lounging on the couch like I don't care, but I'm gonna lay down and just talk. I'm very unprofessional, very unprofessional. So let me talk about this. Let's talk about these New Orleans Saints. You play Andy Dalton, because I think the Seattle Seahawks can be scored on. And I like Andy Dalton, especially in a 2-quarterback league. I like Alvin Kamara because Seattle Seahawks defense ain't all that, not they used to be. Michael Thomas isn't playing. He's out, dealing with I think a toe injury. Chris Olave has been balling out lately, and Andy Dalton seems like he has a connection with Chris Olave. Not too keen on Jarvis Landry. I thought of Jarvis Landry in the beginning of the season would be a valuable asset, but he's not in fantasy. He's not in fantasy. So, you know what? I'm hesitant, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Why?
Very unprofessional. But that's okay.
Hold on.
Let me say something.
You're looking
no,
back
no, this
and
is
forth
my show.
at
This
the
is my show.
TV.
This is my show.
It is, and you're looking back and forth at the TV. That is unprofessional too. I mean, you're supposed to be focused on your audience.
No. Don't you see? He's trying to deflect.
I'm just saying.
My man's trying. Look, and I'm telling you right now.
What?
Very unprofessional.
I heard you the first 4 times.
Very unprofessional. Every time I've been on your show, my brother, you see me in this seat, sitting up, paying attention. Okay?
Not paying attention, because sometimes you be off looking at this, looking at that, and then you don't look at the camera.
But
you don't look at the camera. Don't even play with me. You don't even look at the camera. You be looking at the monitor.
Stop deflecting. Stop deflecting.
Deflecting. I'm telling you. You just said. You know what? You always pay attention.
You know what? You know what?
I'm waking up. I don't
care. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. I could be waking up, but I'm sitting in this seat.
That's good.
That is good. On every show. Do you see me laying down? No,
but I do see you do this. I do see you do this.
Yes,
a lot.
yes.
You do that a lot. You do that a lot, which is very unprofessional.
At least I'm in the chair. At least I'm in the chair doing it. At least I'm in the chair doing it. I'm gonna put you on public blast for doing this.
Oh my goodness!
You've done it more than once, and
Jesus,
it's very unprofessional.
Okay.
Very.
I mean, you not looking at the cameras unprofessional. You looking at the TVs unprofessional.
Stop.
So don't try to just say I'm the only one that does something unprofessional.
Stop.
That's not right.
Victor, stop.
I see what you're doing.
You're trying to make your wrong right, and it ain't working.
I'm not making my wrong right. I'm just saying I'm not the only one that does it.
Let me tell you something.
So don't try to
Victor,
put me on there.
I'm Victor. I'm warning you.
What are you warning me for?
I'm warning you now.
What is your problem?
I'm warning you now.
What is your problem?
I'm professional. Being unprofessional.
Jerry. Okay. Let's do this. When you stop acting like you have a problem with everything on my show, and then when I come on your show and I give you information, you want to try to then we can come to an agreement, because you like to show off. You like to show off on my show, and then act like you're innocent on your show.
I'm not innocent.
Exactly.
No,
exactly. That is my point. That is exactly my point. So don't sit here and act like I'm the only one.
This is classic Victor deflection, but that's okay.
Oh my God!
I know it because I've seen it so many times before.
This is the
you are so, and this is a fact. You are so
it's not
in line with your TSA brothers. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God! Here we go. No, I'm not.
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. But that's okay.
That is not a fact. People don't listen to the facts.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That isn't a fact.
That's a fact. Look.
How can they prove that? Here's a question. If it's a fact, you can prove a fact, right? You can prove that something's a fact. How can they prove that? They can't.
How can they prove that?
Yeah, they can't, because it's a group. It's a private group.
The group?
It's a private, and all people can go off of is your word. Your word is not fact. Again, it's not a fact.
People.
It is your opinion.
I've been upfront and straight with you. If I tell you,
oh my God,
if I try to explain to you what this person is all about, this person
wrong side.
This person is all about.
What am I all about?
I quit a league. 2 leagues I quit because the fact that these guys act like Mr. FSP.
No, they don't. No, definitely they don't.
Trust me. I quit 2 leagues.
He also sabotaged the league. If you want to put it out, like I said, that's a fact.
Yeah, okay.
I can say that's a fact.
Okay. You know what? You know what?
Because you just said
wait a minute.
You made an accusation on me. You made an accusation on me that's unfounded.
All right, people, listen to me. This is why he said I sabotaged the league, and I legitimately made a mistake, and it was and I immediately corrected it when I realized what I did. 1 league I wasn't in the playoffs. The rule is if you're not in the playoffs, you don't pick players off of the waiver wire. And I did that. Unmistakably did that. And as soon as I did it, realized I made a mistake, I corrected it. Apologized to the league. Profusely apologized to the league. And Victor says, no, I did, because he's just like one of them. He doesn't ever realize that everyone makes a mistake. I've never made a mistake in that league up until that time. Never made a mistake in that league up in that time, and I made a mistake. And they jumped
So
all
why
over.
did I defend you then? I defended you.
Okay, so it is what it is. So I owned up to it. It's not like I try to run away from it. I owned up to it.
No.
I owned. Don't even go there, because I owned up to it. As soon as I made a mistake, I owned up to it. Never made a mistake in that league. Not one. Not one. But this is the type of league that if you're not perfect, they're going to jump all over you. And come on, really? If you're not perfect, they're going to jump over you. If one guy doesn't like something that you do, whether you pick up, whether you make a trade or whatever, the whole league decides to jump on board. Really? That's ridiculous.
That's true.
That's ridiculous.
That is true. That part is true.
So what I'm saying is this.
That part is true.
Thank you. Okay, you say that part is true.
I mean, you finished playing with the mute button?
Well, let me ask you something.
Are you finished playing with that?
I just got this. You know what it says?
I don't even see. I can't even see what it says. It says what?
It says what?
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you what it says. Is Vic coming to contribute or disrupt the show?
Well, you know what? I would contribute, but you attacked me off the top. I was listening. I didn't say nothing. And then you like, well, you are this, you are that. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Because the fact is,
what are you doing?
The position you are in now?
Oh, my God. Again, Jerry, you're talking about me laying on my couch, right? But you have not told the people how you act crazy on my show, throwing your body all around, which is very unprofessional, cursing, and I asked you several times not to curse, but you continue to curse, and then you jump in and out, and you're not paying attention. So I don't call you out on that.
Wait a minute.
I don't call you out on that. But
I pay attention all the time, and in fact,
when I
jumped in and out, it's because I had internet issues. I had to redo my internet.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when your focus is elsewhere. I don't do that to you. I don't put you on blast. I don't do that to you. But you like to do it to me. And if your sister or whoever wrote that letter, ask them what about you. Do they look at Saturday's show? They see how you act on Saturday's show, and they don't. Do they correct you? If they do, do you post it on the show like you just did to me? No, you don't. So don't even.
You come here to disrupt or contribute.
No, dude, I'm here to do.
All right, let's move on. It's time to move on. All right.
Yes, because
Miami at the New York Jets.
This dude.
And well, I'm doing what you did. You did that yesterday.
No, I didn't.
It's time to move on. Let's move on to the next game.
Yesterday. Oh my God.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. But that's okay. Okay, no problem. Anyway, Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets. I'll give you the courtesy of doing the What?
I said you spent 10 minutes acting up. Go ahead.
I'll give you the courtesy of doing the Miami Dolphins while I do the New York Jets, which is the home team. So that's how it's going to roll the rest of the.
So I got the ways, you got the home. All right, fine.
Yeah, that's what I said. Okay.
And I said, fine.
Okay. So let's go to. I don't play Zach Wilson. I'm against the Miami Dolphins. I know the Miami Dolphins are not a real strong passing defense, but second game Zach Wilson still, in my opinion, still trying to find his way. I can't honestly tell you people to play Zach Wilson. Brees
Oh, I
Hall.
see why you said that. I got it. I got it. I got it.
What?
That's funny.
Stop.
That's funny.
Look.
It's funny. It's funny. I
When I
got it
give
now.
when I
I
give
got
you
it now.
when I give you your chance, respond. Okay.
What are you talking about? Go ahead,
You
man.
just interrupted what I was saying. When I give you a chance, you can respond to the Miami Dolphins. All right. I wouldn't play Zach Wilson, like I said, second time around since last week when he first came back from an injury. I can't honestly say to play Zach Wilson, even though he's playing at home, and that's ideal conditions for the home team, playing at home, sleeping in their own bed. Uh, I think Zach Wilson is not a decent play. Maybe in a two quarterback league, but not in a one. Uh, I think, but I do say play. There are two wide receivers. They're two young wide receivers. One's a rookie and one's a second year player, if I'm not mistaken. And Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore. I like those guys. And his safety blanket. Believe it or not, the tight end for the New York Jets is within the top 10. He's within the top 10 of tight ends. That's Tyler Conklin, if you don't know. Believe it or not, that's his safety blanket. He's gotten a lot of touches. I'm saying he played Tyler Conklin in this matchup. Mr. FSP, you have Miami.
Okay, too easy. Uh, and I like the little joke. I see what the joke was now. It just hit me in the head because I said Jerry comes to disrupt the show in the title yesterday. I like that. That was funny. It took a second for it to hit me, but I got it. So okay, good job, Vicky. Good job. I love you too, Vicky. Anyway, check it out. Miami. They're going to Teddy Bridgewater the ball left and right. What does that mean? Two Glove Teddy is a check down guy. Um, and we made the point yesterday that a slant with Waddle and Hill can go the distance. I really, really believe that Mike Gesicki is going to be a beneficiary of this quarterback change. We don't know how long Tua is going to be out. I want people to remember Tua had a hip issue in college, a serious hip issue. That's what made his draft stock drop until they were like, well let's take him number one anyway. On the defensive side of that ball, where are the Jets going to throw the ball? The Miami Dolphins have one of the best secondaries in the NFL. One of the best. Now, I know Jerry mentioned Tyler Conklin, but a guy that's been forgotten a little bit and I think might be able to get over on this defense if they go double tight end is CJ Uzama. I don't know why they're not using him more, but they probably should because against double tight ends, 11 personnel, the Jets have not been that great. I mean, not 11, 12 personnel. The
Can
Jets
you
have not been that great.
can you please talk just about Miami?
I just said that against 12 personnel, the Jets aren't that great. And I'm talking about oh my bad. My bad. Uzama's not on Miami. I apologize. I apologize. I forgot. But I am talking about the defense. That's what I was saying. The defense isn't that good against 12 personnel. So I'm talking about Miami. You just okay. I'm talking about the defense. So with that being said, the defense should do well in this game. However, meaning, am I going to play the Miami Dolphin defense? I would. Maybe not my first choice, but I would play them because I think with Teddy Bridgewater in the game, and this is really hard for a lot of people to swallow, he's a dink and dunker, and Tua's supposed to be a dink and dunker. But Tua takes more shots downfield. He's not there when no one's come back. Running back wise, I can't tell you who to play. I can't. Just like New England, just like San Francisco, there's always a different running back running the ball. Chase Edmonds is there, but is he going to get the lion's share this week? You never know.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I played Tom Brady against this defense that's not too that good. Even though Tampa Bay has been playing better, but I against the Buccaneers at home, with that against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I don't think they can. Atlanta will be able to keep up with a very pissed off Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that got roasted by the Kansas City Chiefs. So I would say play Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and last week, people, last week I gave you two sleepers. Well, in essence, I gave you one sleeper and one person, one a player to pick up. The sleeper I gave you, and he came through for me, was Rashad White, who had double digits last week. And the player, wide receiver, I told you to pick up because he's soon coming off of the injury list and soon to be playing for the Detroit Lions is Jamison Williams, a very good wide receiver, a rookie wide receiver that would have been a number one pick other than having an ACL. I know he's got an ACL. I understand that. But they've been very patient with him and he's had no setbacks from his ACL. And they've been ramping him up over the last few weeks. Now next week is a bye week, so people, more than likely people that don't know or don't realize that he won't be playing. He'll still be sitting there. That week 7 and on is going to be on. Let me put it that way. With the influx of that player into the offense, who's top 5 in offense and fantasy right now, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. Not that they're not now. I'm talking about the Detroit Lions.
Wait a minute. Hold on. We're talking about Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Why are you talking about Detroit? Why are you talking about Detroit? You just said Tampa Bay and Atlanta.
I look, listen to what I just said. Because what I did was this. I talked about sleepers, and one of the sleepers.
I got it. And you went on a tangent about Detroit, but we supposed to.
It's my show. I can go do what I want. Okay.
I'm just trying to keep you on track.
Thank you. I'm on track. I'm on track. I know exactly what I'm doing.
All right. I'm just wondering.
All right. And because I said that you pick up the sleeper in Rashad White, and I also said pick up Jamison Williams. He'll be probably in the lineup in week 7 or very soon. Let me put it that way. All right, let's move on to the next game.
We need to talk about.
Wait a minute. I realized that. I caught myself.
First page of the mission.
Just look. Relax. Okay. You're so quick. Relax.
No, Jerry, because I just reminded you that we were talking about Tampa Bay, Atlanta. I just reminded you, so that's not quick. When you forgot quickly.
Like I said, this guy looks for stuff, and this is Mr. TSA. I'm not going to. He's not going to be Mr. FSP. He's going to be Mr. TSA. Anyway, Mr. FSP, you have Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, because I don't know if you talked about Tampa Bay.
Atlanta Falcons.
But Atlanta, they're suffering here. They are suffering. See, look at that professor is looking at the TV. Tampa Bay can run all over this defense. They can pass all over this defense. There's nobody on Atlanta's defense I'm going to suggest you pick up at all, especially if you're doing IDPs. Kyle Pitts is out. Cordell Patterson is out. That means Tyler Algier is supposed to be the guy. No, I believe it's going to be Damian Williams. Now, look, he's the more experienced back. They want the younger back to play, he will play. But I think Arthur Smith is going to probably try to pound the rock with, 3 running backs they got? 2 young, 1 old. Drake London, he has seen no less than 7 targets or double-digit targets every week. I don't know what's going to happen now because Pitts isn't going to be double-teamed. It's going to be him getting double-teamed. At 6'6" or 6'4", that's a big target. But Mariota, I'm not feeling Mariota. I'm not feeling Mariota. there's a problem in Atlanta, and Tampa Bay is going to mollywop them because they can't stop anybody. Wei Young Koo is the top-rated kicker in fantasy football right now. That is about the only player out of Drake London I can tell you to play because they're getting a lot of kicking opportunities. So if you're in a pinch, go pick him up off waivers because people aren't touching Atlanta players. I'm done.
All right, let's move on to the Tennessee Titans at the Washington Commanders. I'll take the home team. No.
Are you going to give me my team?
I'll take the visiting team, and I'll give Vic the home team because that's his team, and we'll see where he's going to go with that. Anyway, I'm not playing Giant Ryan Tannehill. Not in this situation. Not on the road at the Washington Commanders. I can't trust Ryan Tannehill. Now, even though I can't trust him, I can trust his wide receiver because he gets targeted a lot in Robert Woods. I also can trust Derrick Henry because this is a run dominated team. So the two players that I have that I like on the Tennessee Titans is Derrick Henry and Robert Woods. That's the two best players that they have on the Tennessee Titans going up against the Washington Commanders, Mr. FSP.
The Commanders, listen, um, I can see what Jerry's saying about not trusting Tannehill, uh, but trusting Woods, I don't know. Because that secondary, here's the thing. This is what, week 5. I don't know what's wrong with the Washington Commanders secondary. Every year over the past 3 years, it's been slow start. Then they hit a stride because they found a pass rush. I don't think they need a pass rush this game. They just need run stopping. Jamin Davis has got to show up in this game and meet Derrick Henry in the hole. He's got to. If he doesn't, Derrick Henry's going to run all over this defense. Don't play the defense. I know it's tempting because it's just a run team they're going against. And, hey, low-scoring game. Some people have projected this game to be 28-24, Washington. And I'll tell you why. Because Brian Robinson Jr. is making his debut. Brian Robinson Jr., and for those that don't know or didn't catch the FSP show at the beginning of the summer or the beginning of August, Robinson took the job of starting running back from Antonio Gibson after the first preseason game. I'm going to explain that. Ron Rivera said his starting running back was going to start returning kicks. You don't put your starting running back at the kick returner after the first preseason game. Yes, he had some fumble problems, but Gibson is a good play here because he'll be catching the ball out of the backfield. But Robinson is that grinder. Now, on the off the side of the ball, I'm not a Carson Wentz fan. Jerry likes Carson Wentz, or he did, or whatever the case may be. But Wentz loves to target Curtis Samuels. Curtis Samuels, again, 7+ targets per game. Now he's playing the number 2 receiver. He's not in the slot in the third receiver position because he has to play number 2. That means he's going to probably get a few less targets, and Terry McLaurin will get, finally, the targets he deserves. But Antonio Gibson also gets them. I would look out for Logan Thomas in this game. I would really look out for Logan Thomas because Tennessee does not cover the tight end very well. So, with that being said, there's your Washington Commanders lineup, and it's a play. I thought it was going to be a low-scoring game. I did. But the more I thought about it over Saturday, if this becomes explosive, Tennessee's can't win. I don't think they have the firepower. Like Jerry said, they only have one main target. One in the passing game. That's not good for a team looking to get a win. I'm done.
All right, let me go with the watch. You got the watch Commanders. We did this already. Let's move on to the San Francisco 49ers at the Carolina Panthers. I'll take the home team, Mr. FSP, taking the visiting team. I got one player to play. One player to play
Of course.
on the Carolina Panthers. I can't tell you to play the quarterback because He's hot garbage. He really is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, okay.
But against this defense, he will be. He will be.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? Because San Francisco is allowing 11 points per game. Their defense, 11 points per game, and they shut down a high-powered offense in LA to 9 points. So they're allowing 11 points of their opposing opponent, their opposing team, uh, 11 points a game, which is stifling. Let me put it that way. And to say for me to tell you to play Baker Mayfield as bad as he's playing, it ain't going to happen. The only time I can play, and this guy is going to have a tough way to go, is Christian McCaffrey. He got most of his points last week in catching the football. That's what I think needs to be done, happen this week. Baker Mayfield's going to come up against a hell of a pass rush. Going to need to get rid of the ball quick. Maybe they don't have a decent tight end. So the next best is the running back, the pass catching running back in Christian McCaffrey. So the only one I can tell you to play with all confidence is Christian McCaffrey. You got the San Francisco 49ers.
Jimmy G, believe it or not, is a play this game. If you're looking for a quarterback, and if Jimmy G's still on your waiver wire, you're probably in a very weak and whack league. But I believe that Debo and he have a connection like no other, and as well as Kittle. Brandon Ayuk is finding his way. I'm not so confident in him, but I love what they're doing, especially with the run game. Jeff Wilson, he's going to have that job for another, week or two, or maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks before Elijah Moore, not Elijah Moore, Elijah Mitchell begins his comeback. So I expect them to do wonders. If you remember back to week 1, what Cleveland did to Carolina's defense in the run game, I expect the same thing from San Francisco. Debo's gonna have a big game, and the sad thing is this: DJ Moore on the opposite side, he won't even get locked up. It's just gonna be too much pressure from the defense that Baker's not gonna have time to get him the ball. I would say that offensive line of Carolina is about to get decimated by that front four of San Francisco. Bosa is probably going to see Baker multiple times in this game. Definitely play the defense. Definitely play the defense. Not too keen on the kicking game because I think it's going to be more touchdowns from San Francisco.
Okay, here we go. Next game. This is deja vu all over again. This is funny. Philadelphia Eagles at the Arizona Cardinals. I'll take the Arizona Cardinals, which is the home team, which is another Oklahoma quarterback.
Here we go.
You'll take the Philadelphia Eagles, one of your favorite teams. Anyway.
Here we go. See, and you want to know why? You want to know why I'd be disrespectful to you, right? But I didn't talk about the Jets being your first team that you jilted at the altar.
Wait a minute.
It's okay.
It was my first team. It was my first team, and then I went to the Texans, and then
you jilted them. You jilted them,
and then I went to Cleveland Browns.
And now the Browns are suffering.
I'm with the Cleveland Browns now, so it is what it is.
No, you're with the Deshaun Watsons. Remember that you're Deshaun Watson.
And what team is he on? What team is he on?
For now, but go ahead.
He you know what? For $240 million for 5 years, he's on that team forever, forever. Let me put it that way. Anyway, let's move on to the Philadelphia Eagles, and like I said, Vic's favorite team against the Arizona Cardinals.
There you go.
Vic's one of Vic's favorite quarterbacks in Kyler Murray. You play Kyler Murray against this is going to be there's two things that I have a problem with Kyler Murray. Okay.
Yeah.
One is, and this has been proven. It's not like I'm talking out of turn or I'm nitpicking here. This is This is a fact. This is fact. If you watch any of the Arizona Cardinals games, you'll see what I'm talking about. Not that much this year. Last year it was very abundant that Kyler Murray dropped back in the pocket and wanted to play hero ball by running the football. That's a fact. That if you watch the games, that's what he likes to do.
He has to. But go ahead. I'm not going to say.
Run the football. The
I'm not
second
gonna
is this: when Kyler Murray sits back in the pocket and throws the football, look for that left leg to be off the ground because he throws the ball like he's trying to throw a fade shot.
Excuse me.
Like he's trying to throw a fade shot. Or
Excuse me.
he passes the football fading away and off his right foot, which is a bad way for a quarterback to throw the football.
You know Aaron Rodgers does that too, right? I'm looking at it.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you something.
He's doing the exact same thing you're saying.
Let me ask.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Stop.
I just threw it out there.
Stop. Don't interrupt me. I'm doing my part.
Oh my goodness. Power tripping. Here we go.
All right. Kyler Murray, I would play Kyler Murray in this game. Okay. Not so much James Conner. The Philadelphia Eagles are pretty good against the run, and James Conner is a run dependent. Touchdown dependent type of running back, and I don't think he's going to have too many chances to get into the end zone. I would play Marquise Brown because I think they're going to have to pass the ball to catch up, and also play Zach Ertz, short throw, safe throw, middle of the field. I think they're going to have to exploit that because Rondale Moore and AJ Green, I don't know about them. They're iffy players and inconsistent players at best. Those are the only players, the three players that I can tell you to play on the Arizona Cardinals: Kyler Murray, Marquise Brown, and Zach Ertz. Mr. FSP, you got Philadelphia.
Well, thank you, benevolent one. Something that Jerry neglected to tell you guys is there's a new kicker in town, and that doesn't spell anything good for the scoring. That means they're going to probably take shots when they're close instead of taking field goals. But Philadelphia, they're in a whole different zip code than Arizona, literally and figuratively. You know, we could talk about people throwing off the back foot left and right, but when you talk about that, let's look at the people that do that. Jalen Hurts, he did a jump ball.
Look.
Dude, I'm talking about Jalen Hurts.
Go ahead.
Don't stop me from my critique. If you don't want to hear it, just don't listen. Jalen Hurts does a jump ball from time to time. Now, is that the product of the system, or is it a product of their height? And I use the example of Aaron Rodgers because he does a fade ball as well. We look at what's my man name? Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes throws off of the wrong foot, left and right. He throws different angles. The point is, these quarterbacks that are mobile, because that's the one thing they all had in common. Aaron Rodgers was a mobile quarterback, still is, but he sticks in the pocket more times than not. They all have this thrown off of 1 foot type deal. Now, I don't know what's the mechanic to stop it, but Jalen Hurts has found a way to stick his foot in the ground and deliver a ball. Because when you do a jump ball or fade off your back foot, the ball sails. It sails. And that was his problem last year. And I would say he did that last year because he didn't have confidence in his receivers. This year, A.J. Brown, who I believe is going to have a field day this game, Dallas Goedert, who's been his main target, and Slim Reaper are going to feast in the passing game. Now, let's look at the running backs. Miles Sanders has become that running back everybody thought he should be because Jalen isn't taking the ball from him. He's giving him the ball in those situations. So he's going to get those goal line touches. Um, this is going to be a very good game. I believe it's going to be a little high scoring because Arizona's defense is very suspect. It is very suspect. Uh, but as Jerry said, Kyler Murray can run around the pocket and make things happen. That's when he's at his best, just like Russell Wilson, trying to make things happen. Marquise Goodwin, or not Goodwin, Marquise Hollywood Brown, he's going to have a hard time because Darius Slay is probably going to lock him down. He's going to lock him down. But there's always going to be somebody open when you're scrambling around. So if they need to build that in, if they don't, Philly's going to crush them and make it a one-sided game.
All right. Let's move on to the next game. And this is the Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Rams. And this is deja vu all over again. This is very ironic that I get to talk about the Rams, and Vic gets to talk about his second favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys.
See? There you go. Fix your dentures. It's okay.
So we go with I don't know what's wrong with Matthew Stafford. Could be his elbow. It could be. It could be, or he's just locked in, like I said, to one particular wide receiver, and doesn't see any. He's got blinders on for everybody else, and that's Cooper Kupp. You got to play Cooper Kupp. I mean, whatever he did last year, he's doing it again this year. For the simple fact is Matthew Stafford, like I said, has blinders on for just Cooper Kupp. Now you got to think this is discouraging for the rest of the team, pass catchers especially. For the simple fact is, why are you always throwing Cooper Kupp? I understand that he's your guy, but I mean it's getting detrimental to the team. As in case in point, last week he decided to go to Cooper Kupp one too many times and got intercepted and had a closing touchdown from the San Francisco 49ers. So it is what it is. The only player I can tell you to play is Cooper Kupp. I don't like any of the running backs. I don't like Allen Robinson. No. Tyler Higbee. I mean, he likes throwing entire Higbee other than Cooper Kupp. But Cooper Kupp is the main target, and everybody else is just a fill-in. Dallas Cowboys, Mr. FSP.
Here's my trend, just in case you haven't noticed. I like to talk about the defense first. And with that, Diggs is not going to be able to contain Cooper Kupp. Diggs is not going to be the only one on Cooper Kupp. And the problem that the Rams have is they don't have anybody on the outside that has that speed. Van Jefferson needs to come back quickly to help this team out. With that, I'm looking at how they attack you on defense. Micah Parsons, oh my God. This dude is legit. He is legit. He's making it so much easier for everybody else on the defense to play their position. It's ridiculous. And we also know that the Rams' offensive line is not that good. Play this defense. They are a top 5 defense regardless, but play this defense. On the other side of the ball, Cooper Rush has been doing this offense a lot better than Dak has. I'm not going to tell you to play Cooper Rush because he's not going to be a fantasy big time player. He's a consistent player. If you're looking for 15 to 16 points a game, because that's all you need right now, play him. That's what's going to get you. But CeeDee Lamb, Zeke, Pollard, and guess who's back? Mr. Gallup. So I expect this ball to be caught a lot more between these players. I think, and unfortunately, the Rams secondary and the Rams defense is not that good. Picking them up and putting them in, I wouldn't do that. That's just me. They're not that good. And the Cowboys are going to exploit it. I can guarantee that. They're going to exploit Jalen Ramsey. They're going to exploit that weak linebacker core. And are you paying attention? Or are you just looking around? I'm just saying.
I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just saying. You're just looking around. But yeah, that offense of the Cowboys, they're running efficiently and smoothly. So you play him. Only person I'm not going to tell you to play on that offense is Dalton Schultz. He's disappeared. I don't know why. Maybe because Jerry said I'm not going to pay him no more money. And if y'all get him all these passes, I got to pay him money. I don't know. That's what I got.
All right, the next game and the 8 o'clock game would be the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. You play me Lamar Jackson until further notice. Until something else happens to this running back, you play J.K. Dobbins.
Ah.
Until something happens, until until something happens, you play J.K. Dobbins. I can't, I can't,
Whoa.
I can't honestly tell you to play Demarcus Robinson, Devin Duvernay, or Rashad Bateman because these guys, I think, but
Bateman is out.
Bateman.
Bateman is out.
Can I finish?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, thank you.
Go ahead.
That Rashad Bateman is out. So the best pass catcher they have is Mark Andrews, and wait a minute now, I got a sleeper in here. I got a sleeper in here because they lack consistent wide receiver help. How about Isaiah Likely, their other tight end, who's a very athletic tight end and the heir apparent if he stays healthy and stays on the team to Mark Andrews. They like to play a lot of tight end sets. There's nothing wrong with them using Isaiah Likely, somewhat like they use Mark Andrews. You have the Cincinnati Bengals.
This is going to be an easy victory for the Bengals. Why do I say that? I'm not going to start on the defensive side of the ball this time. I'm going to end with the defensive side of the ball. The Ravens can't cover anybody. They can't cover a bed. They can't cover no Boyd, Chase, Higgins. All of those guys over 100 yards each. Last few games they played the Ravens, and that was when they were healthy. This is going to be a throw the ball around the park type game, and Lamar Jackson can't do that effectively, especially if you listen to what Jerry just said. Now, Rashad Bateman was ruled out on Thursday. That means Devin Duvernay, their kick returner and punt returner, is the number one receiver. The Cincinnati Bengals defense is going to lock them down. It's going to sound crazy because the current human joystick is Lamar Jackson, but you play Cincinnati's defense. You play their defense. And Evan McPherson, that young kicker, you play him to the wheels fall off of that young man. This is not going to be a close game. It might start off close. Let me put it that way. It's going to start off close, but Cincinnati's going to run away with it because those receivers are going to ball. They are going to ball for it all. I actually think that Joe Burrow is going to throw for 400 plus yards this game. I really believe he is. That secondary is that bad. It is that bad. So, will it be all to the receivers and running back? I don't know, but I'm telling you, these receivers are going to eat like it's the Last Supper. That's what I got.
All right, let's move on to the last game, and it's the Monday night game. It's two AFC West rivals, long-time rivals, AFL type of rivals. In the Las Vegas Raiders, formerly of the LA Raiders, formerly of the Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Excuse me.
Talking about a human joystick guy who can make plays anywhere on the field, anytime, any way.
Yeah, off his back foot.
any kind of way. And let me just comment because this is the last quarterback that can make his plays off the back foot. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. What do those players have in common? They have two things in common. They won the MVP of the league, and they won Super Bowls. That's all I got to say. They've been. That's all I got to say. They won it. They won MVPs, and they won Super
This
Bowls.
dude, man.
So yeah,
I tell you.
hey, you want to talk about facts? That's a fact.
I didn't say anything. I just said this
Okay,
dude.
okay.
I just said
Patrick
this dude.
Mahomes. You play Patrick Mahomes. You know what? I don't like this guy, and I keep telling you I don't like this guy, and the guy keeps coming through with valid fantasy points. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You know, he only had like 40 rushing yards in the last game, and he scored what, one or two touchdowns. He's very touchdown dependent. Let me put it that way. Extremely touchdown dependent. But I can't tell you not to play him because the fact that they put him in positions to make touchdowns. So I got to tell you to play Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But understand this: he's very touchdown dependent. Uh, Travis Kelce is a no-brainer. All the other wide receivers, you take a coin, any coin, penny, quarter, dime, nickel, toss it up in the air. They're whatever comes up, they may come through this week. I'm talking about Juju Smith-Schuster or Marquez Valdez-Scantling. You never know. I would not have and I don't have a Kansas City Chief wide receiver on any of my fantasy teams because you never know who's going to be the one. That's the fact. You never know who's going to be the one to get the yardage and the touchdowns. You know Travis Kelce is, and you know CEH is. They've been the most consistent fantasy scorers on the team out, along with Patrick Mahomes. All right, Mr. FSP, you got the Las Vegas Raiders.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Listen to what is about to happen here. Mr. Adams is going to have one hell of a game. McDuffie, the cornerback from Kansas City, the highly touted cornerback, isn't in there. Devontae Adams is going to two-step, toe drag swag all over this daggone defense. Why? Hunter Renfro's back. He's playing. Darren Waller, he's playing. Battle of two of the top three tight ends in the league. And Josh Jacobs, if they run this man the way they are supposed to run this man, it's going to be a spectacular Las Vegas victory. And he's also part of the passing game, which is very good for him as well as for the Raiders because that means you have another option. Also, you have this young kid. Oh my God, I forgot his name that quick. Having a old person's moment. Number 11 for the Raiders. Young man can play. Young man can play. So you put that all together on the offensive side of the ball. That tells me there's going to be fireworks. Defensive side of the ball. Chandler Jones and Crosby haven't really meshed just yet, but Crosby's still getting in there. I think with the scrambling ability of Pat Mahomes and getting out of the pocket, you're going to see Chandler get some love. Chandler's going to get some love. I think so. Here's the thing. If you notice, Abrams has not been in the lineup that much at safety for the daggone Raiders. He's a hitter. He's not a cover guy. Now, if you want to hit somebody like Travis Kelce and get him out the game, put him in. But he's not. The Raiders are moving more toward a cover three and a blitzing cover three style of defense. With that being said, you're going to need somebody to take the top off in this game. Juju Smith-Schuster can't do that. What's my man? Hardeman, he has not been doing that. So I expect this defense to be an attacking cover three. An attacking cover three. try to put him on his heels and get it done with the front four, but loop some people around. So believe it or not, I am saying playing the Raiders defense. I'm going to say play the Raiders defense. And Clarkson, yes, play him. He's a point getter for him. They get in position, and if they don't score a touchdown, he's getting a field goal. With that being said, I am done.
All right, people, we're done with the show. 11:30, approximately 11:30, the inactives come out for the 1 o'clock games.
About 5
2:30.
minutes. Yep.
Two,
Yeah, 5 minutes, right?
2:30, the inactives come out for the 4 o'clock games, and you adjust your lineups accordingly. Oh, and don't forget what I told you in the beginning of the show. I picked him up in 2 leagues. If Jonathan Taylor is not playing next week, week 6, I suggest you pick up Deion Jackson on the waiver wire. Deion Jackson on the waiver wire. Jameson Williams on the waiver wire. Those are the 2 guys that I suggest you pick up. Jameson Williams will not be playing on week 6, so you have. If you want to get ahead of the curve, you pick him up and put on your bench. Hopefully, he plays on week 7. Probably week 7, maybe more than likely week 8. And usually it takes a week or 2 for a player coming off injury to get acclimated to be up to full speed. But I think you won't go bad with those 2 players. And Deion Jackson, the running back from the Indianapolis Colts, if Jonathan Taylor is not going to be playing, and Jameson Williams, a future pick or a future player that's going to be playing after week 6, which is a bye week for the Detroit Lions. Mr. FSP, do you have anything else?
Listen, folks. There are players out there on the waiver wire as players start dropping left and right or getting injured. I don't know if Jerry mentioned the whole medical issue with Russell Wilson, but if you haven't heard, did you tell him about it yet, or did you skip over that?
No, I did not tell him.
Okay, all right. So apparently, Russell Wilson had a procedure on his lat, his right lat, which is his throwing side, that it takes more than 10 days to recover from. And the throwing motion is affected. I'm not sure who the backup is I think it's Brock. It can't be Brock Osweiler. It might be. I don't know. But Denver, listen, man. Cortland Sutton's taking a hit. Jerry Jeudy's taking a hit. The better running back, I believe, is Mike Boone. Look up Mike Boone. I believe he's a better running back. Even though they keep giving the ball to Gordon, and Gordon keeps fumbling. He keeps fumbling. I don't know what his problem is, but he's fumbling. But Latavius Murray, I should say, is there for a reason. He is there for a reason. And if Gordon can't do his job, I look for him to come up next week to help out this running game, because I don't think Russ is going to be throwing the ball that much, especially if they're going to keep him in the game. And everybody knows he has a problem with his throwing arm and his throwing motion. That would be stupid to keep him in the game, knowing that that's his issue. I would not be playing Russ. I'm looking to bench him, and unfortunately, I'm going to start Kirk Cousins. And I got Kyler and Kirk in most of my leagues. I would be looking to either find a replacement for Russ, or if you drafted an extra quarterback like I did, start starting that guy until you start seeing some progression from Russ, because it has not been good. I'm not blaming it all on the injury, but the injury has something to do with it.
Well, let me put it this way. I'm blaming it on injury. Just like Russ shouldn't have been playing if it was that bad. Because the only and the reason why I'm saying that is because there was another player last year, and I'm not hating on a player, but the fact he shouldn't have been playing because it was affecting greatly his play was Baker Mayfield. So I'm just saying these quarterbacks, they're very headstrong. They're very headstrong, and you got to protect the player from himself. Let me put it that way. Plain and simple. I mean, he's able to play, but apparently, as you see, Denver Bronco fans were leaving before overtime because they didn't like the way the offense was being put out on the field. Russ had a lot to do with the offense, and Russ he's not in playing. He's not playing the way that people expect him to play, that he's capable of playing. And if you have a problem with your throwing motion, he's sailing balls. That means he's not following through because it's probably too painful. He's restricted because of what he had. I didn't know he had a procedure. I knew that he had issues in his back and the big muscle in his back.
Did you even look at the video you sent me? The doctor says he had a grade 1 or grade 2 tear that required surgery, and that he had the procedure 10 days.
Yeah, I must have missed that. That's why. But I did. The reason why I sent it to you, because I'm looking out for you. The reason why I sent it to you.
I had already saw it, but I didn't have that video. The doctor's explanation.
Okay. Now I'm looking out for you. Understand that. Yeah, you can't say anything
because I know you ain't really, but you are.
You don't.
I said you are. I said you are, but you're not.
I knew you.
I said you are, but you're not.
You don't know me. You honestly, after all this time, you really don't know me. Okay. Even though we're competitors, even though you're competing against me, look, the dude's got an issue. I'm not gonna try to hide it from you. I'm gonna let you know exactly what's going on. That's why I gave you that video. I gave you that information.
You didn't look at fully, but yes, I thank.
That's why I gave you that.
I thank you. I said I thank you.
That's why I gave you that information ahead of time, way ahead of
time.
Well,
way ahead of time because
wait a minute.
If I knew that, I wouldn't have started them this week.
yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so it's not way ahead of time. It was on time.
If you listen,
it was on time for next week.
This is the problem. You have diarrhea of the mouth. You run off with the mouth and you don't listen. When I say ahead of time, I gave you information about this doctor and the information he puts out way ahead of time.
What's he called? The football doctor or something like that?
The fantasy doctor.
Yeah.
And I gave his YouTube. I gave you his information that I sent to you free of charge because I paid for it. Where'd you get it from? Is it something illegal? That's what you told me. Ask me. Is this something illegal? Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I said I didn't know what you did because you don't share. You share the information. You don't share your source.
I don't have to. I just shared you. I shared the information and I shared my source. So you can't say that. You can't say that.
Oh my God! Go ahead, dude.
Oh my God!
You just want to be grumpy. You just gotta be grumpy.
No, you just should listen to yourself. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Anyway, this is all competition, people. This is all competition. And if I could give a friend some information, even though we're in the league together, I'll give him the information. It's all competition. He can do with it whatever he likes. It is what it is. I want to thank everybody for listening, even though we went back and forth, whatever.
Wait, real quick. Did you share this link in the group chat?
No.
Since you want to give everybody some information.
Let me tell you something, people.
I'm asking. Did you?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay.
Mr. FSP. I was waiting for the rest of it, but apparently he realized I shouldn't say anything more. Apparently he should be. Did I share it? He said, "Did I share it?" No, I didn't share it. Okay. Anyway,
all right.
I didn't share it. The information I give out, I like to share. Okay.
But you didn't share it with them.
Okay. All right. So
no, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I asked.
Yeah. So,
Did you?
in the future, if I think about it, and I never didn't even think about it. If I think about it, I'll put the link, and they can come on and look at it and take it for what it is. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. I think some of them may like it. I think some of them may be skeptical of it, Ricky. But that,
You gonna call him out? Really? We can't defend itself?
but but but
Wow.
but
But
it is
you're
what it
right.
is.
You are right. You are
I
right.
know.
But
So I mean, it is what it is. Everybody. Look, I come on this show. I like doing it. I enjoy doing it.
you're
And
welcome.
if no, I enjoy doing it. And if anyone comes on and wants to give their opinion, I have no problem with it. They want to contradict what I have to say. I ain't got no problem with it. Everybody has their own opinion.
Yes.
Everyone has their own approach of going to fantasy football. Everybody's got a different approach. Everybody's got a different mindset and thoughts. It's all a matter of being able to accept it.
Woo, that is a huge statement from you because you don't accept much of anything. But
So,
I want to say thank you, Vicky, for the joke because I got the joke afterwards. I got it afterwards. I was like, what? But then I realized what I had said in the write up of yesterday's show. So that was a joke.
okay,
Vicky,
all right.
you are the smartest one out of the two. So I accept your joke because you are a beautiful soul. I don't know what's wrong with your brother. I really don't know. We both got sisters named Vicky, and mine is messed up. But your brother is the messed up one, Vicky.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's why we've been friends for 14 years. I'm messed up. You're right.
Look, I'm trying to help you. I'm
Yeah.
trying to help you as you go into your what they call those homes when you're about to die, the hospice. I'm trying to help you get to your hospice. Yeah, look at you acting like that. That's where you act all the time. All the time.
I
I'm gonna
don't
get you your
I don't
hospice
act like that all the time. You're only towards certain people.
on my show all the time.
Okay. Anyway,
Where's your fedora at?
only,
Why did you wear your fedora on this show? Is that like I'm an evil person hat like Gru from the Minions? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the professional and astute looking Jerry Taylor because that looks more like a real individual that knows what they're talking about as
I
opposed
do
to
know what I'm talking about.
I
Obviously, I know what I'm talking about.
I said you look like it.
Okay.
Saquon is hurt. Woo, Saquon is hurt. Stop looking at the TV. You're supposed to be looking at your audience.
You told me he was hurt, and I got to look at the TV. What
Yeah.
happened?
Oh, he got up, and he's bopping around now. Oh yeah, you're like 2 minutes behind me.
Oh. Hold on.
You like 2 minutes behind me. He just slammed on his knee. This is like he landed on his knee. That's all. But at any rate,
And it's not just his knee. I can tell you. I can see that.
I know, but that's
It looks
woo.
like part of his shoulder too.
But anyway,
Yeah, it looks like part of his shoulder too. So, because if you look, he was bopping around. When he was bopping around, he was holding his right shoulder right next to him. So
yeah.
it's part of his shoulder too. So look for him to wind up on the injury report for the week.
No.
If he gets injured and he's got an injury, they're required to put him on the injury report.
I know, but I don't think he's going to be on the injury report.
Okay. We'll see.
I think Saquon's going to be okay.
Okay. I didn't say he wasn't going to be okay. I just said that look for him to possibly be on the injury report. With that being said,
well,
I want to thank you and your disruption on the show, but I want to thank you.
You caused it.
I want to thank you for joining me on the show. And tune in next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I may be on Facebook. I think I'm gonna try to put myself on Facebook along with YouTube.
Oh God.
I really want to get some of your buddies on here, if I can.
Why are they my buddies?
Because they're not any my buddies anymore. The TSA.
I don't. Again, they're not my friends. I don't know why you have this obsession about me and TSA.
Well, didn't you tell me that some of them are you know?
No, I don't know any of them personally.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought Dave,
See,
the one that's in neighborhood, was part of TSA.
that's a different Dave.
Oh, okay, no problem.
There
Okay,
you go, assuming. There you go, assuming.
yeah, you're right. I thought,
You're
but
assuming.
I just thought. Okay,
Yeah,
no problem.
wrong.
I'm not holding against you. I just saying. I thought it was.
Yeah, but you were wrong. You didn't even ask. You didn't even. You
Well,
just
I
assumed.
I just did. Didn't you just hear me? Didn't you
Oh,
just hear me?
after you've already made the accusation or assuming that he was the same person for I
Oh
don't know
no,
how long.
I thought he was part of TSA.
No,
He told me he wasn't. I said okay, no problem, no problem.
ladies
It
and
is
gentlemen,
what it is,
look at the
people.
judgmental guy. Look at the judgmental guy.
Okay, people. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Master. This Jerry Taylor presents the Master Plan. You can always go back on YouTube and look at the prior shows and see Mr. FSP lounges up on the couch.
Hey, my cat.
And every other position but a professional position.
At least I
Any
ain't.
other every other position but a professional position. Anyway, with that being said, I want to thank everyone for watching the program. Hopefully, it helps you in making your fantasy, putting your fantasy lineups together. And oh boy, I'm not going to say that. Anyway,
Say what? Say what?
No, I'm not saying it.
What did
Wait a
somebody?
minute. Wait a minute. Let me get off the show and then we can talk. Okay.
Oh no! If Vicky said something, let it be known. Let it be known.
Let it be. No.
Let it be known.
With that being said, enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your week. And hopefully we get you a win. We are out of here. See ya.